Chris Bray is selling purses to change the world, to save women and make a difference. Welcome to Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Chris Bray. She's the CEO and founder of Upscale Purses, and you won't want to miss this episode.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another change maker with champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be here and speak with you, Devin.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, and I appreciate you making the time for us. I was so thrilled. You have a tremendous background. Your whole career has been spent in nonprofits, and you've launched this amazing social venture, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity to come tell people about the great new work that you're doing here. Tell us about Upscale Purse.
Thank you. Just maybe a little bit of background information on me first. I have spent about 30 years in the nonprofit sector. I've been CEOs of different organizations and executive directors, and was able to go around the state with you, Devin, at the Nonprofits Association, and really love the nonprofit sector. And one of the things that kept coming back to me is the importance of funders really understanding how to fund nonprofits in a way that leverages what they're doing and respects the work that nonprofits are doing, but also really helps them be a partner, a long-term partner in a very systematic, long-term way. And so about every year, I take a good hard look at where I'm at with my career, what I want to do, what's on my bucket list, and I just had this overwhelming desire to spend about the last 10 years of my career in really focusing on giving back to the community and really trying to help my expertise help align work and nonprofits. And that's what, and so I started looking for a business model. And I love purses. I am one of those people that when I walk into a store, the first place I go to is the purse aisle. I think they're works of art. Oftentimes they're beautiful. They show women's personalities. And then that's one side. And then the other side is I know in the nonprofit sector and in business too, if you're not doing something that you love, you're going to wash out. It's hard to launch a new business, and oftentimes small businesses end in the first 5 years of launching, and I didn't want that to be the case. I really wanted to find something that was important to me personally and then really integrated that work with my purse passion. So one of the things that I had been to a lot of conferences, and our families had some challenges in this area in our extended family as well, but women issues in general, women don't make as much money as men, and oftentimes they are involved in domestic violence or human trafficking. That's just unacceptable to me. It grates on my core, and so I really wanted to do something that that those two could benefit. It seemed like such a logical way to think about how you can integrate the sale of purses and women, helping other women. It seemed like a fabulous opportunity to me. So that's how I got into this.
Yeah, so tell us about the specific nonprofits you're working to support.
So what I have focused on doing is finding nonprofits that will fill out a form on upscalepurse.com and tell us why they think they would be a good partner for me. One of the things that the law requires is that you're not able to just focus on one nonprofit. There's a lot of red tape and work on that end. So I work with a nonprofit for a certain amount of time, really try to our fundraising goals, and then give that opportunity to other nonprofits as well. So my goal is to give back in a substantial way, and part of the alignment of nonprofits is really that collective impact feel and really trying to deeply help a nonprofit that will be a partner and really work hard to make sure that the money that is going in a way that's leveraged and accessible to the people that we really want to serve.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Now, Chris, how are you sourcing the purses?
So I you know how you start with one idea and then you think, oh, things evolve, right? And whenever you're in business, things evolve. So in one of my trips, Texas, I was in my hotel room and I was looking at some of the literature that's left in hotel rooms, and I saw this beautiful consignment shop that had designer purses and designer clothing, and it was a couple of blocks from my hotel, and I walked over and thought, oh, this seems like a lot of work. I don't really want to do this, but I love the purses that they have, and a lot of designer purses have value after they are initially purchased. And so I started out thinking, what a great way to be able to give a second life to really beautiful purses. And then so I came back and I started that, and I looked for a name and, did all of that search, and that's really hard to find a name that somebody else doesn't already have. And so Upscale Purse was available, and that seemed to work for me. So then I know that it's really important to do market research, and so I emailed all of my friends, and I provided a survey, and I said, will you please help me do some background? Is this a good idea? Is this not a good idea? And people thought the idea of giving at least 10% to a nonprofit was a good idea. Not all of them loved the idea that there would only be a consignment option. They thought, I need to do new purses as well as consignment purses as well, which is a challenge because then you have invest in getting product, right, that you store and that you work. So I do have some consignment on our site, and then I'm hoping that part will grow. And then I also have a new purses that we partnered with a company called Bugatti and Veneto right now. And I was able to go to a New York trade show and talk with a lot of vendors and really try to focus on what I think would sell at an Upscale Purse. It's not meant to be a bargain basement, this is the best deal type of thing. This is a mission-driven enterprise, and we wanted to have really nice product that would really talk to people that are professional women that want to give back, women of means, and those that love them, those that support them and want to see that good work. So that's the premise that we started with. I have an opportunity to go to Las Vegas next month and purchase some more product. We've sold almost all of our product from our first launch, which is really exciting. And so we're moving forward and hoping for good things in the future.
Well, Chris, you have been, as you mentioned, a CEO or an executive director of so many organizations here in Utah and nonprofits, and you just completely devoted yourself to that over the years and have become a real role model to a lot of people. But who do you look up to as a role model?
I love Gandhi. He is just my favorite person that I always go back at. When anybody ever asks me who my hero is, it's always Mahatma Gandhi. He is and still is such a role model of how to move a really important message forward without violence and with love and with inclusiveness and bringing down those barriers so that people are able to move forward. And I just am amazed at the work that he's done. And we have so much political unrest in the United States and in the world right now. I think we can all take a leaf from his book and see what we can do with inclusiveness and goodwill and harmony and really all working together to make the world a better place.
No, that is an inspiring role model. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, you could be doing anything at this point in your career. Why have you decided to do this now? You suggested a little bit about why you had gotten into this for your last 10 years, but tell us a little bit more about why this was so important to you.
So important. I really wanted to be in the role of a funder. I've worked with so many nonprofits, and they get very frustrated with funders not really understanding the work that they do. And then I talked to a lot of funders who really, one of my favorite quotes from Utah Nonprofits Association, I had quite a few meetings where others would say to me, Chris, can't you round up these nonprofits and just get them to do one proposal on something like early education, and that's all, so that I know that there's not duplication. I'm working with a group of people that are really organized. And I thought a lot about that over the years and really decided that there's building that communication bridge and really talking with each other in an authentic way and having long-term partnerships was part of the problem. So many funders have to bounce from one nonprofit to another, or they fund just an inch deep and a mile wide. And I really wanted to be in a position where I could set a good example to really have different conversations with nonprofits that we serve. Those are things that, as we make more money at Upscale Purse, we'll be able to do. We haven't been able to invest a lot yet, but we barely started up. So I'm hoping for really big things in the future for us.
Fantastic. What is your superpower, Chris?
This was a hard one for me, Devin, when you said that you were going to ask us this question. I thought about this overnight and talked to a few of my friends, and I think that I am empathetic, but also very action-oriented. So maybe an action-oriented, empathetic person. I really do try to see the good in people. I really do try to support people in their change, in what they want to do. I feel like people can change, they can grow, they can be able to do the things that are meaningful in their lives. But I always like an action plan. I always want to know what the first step is. What's the long-term objective? How do we start with the end in mind? I think that there's just some really great promise in people in general, and I am an optimist and think that the world is an amazing place to live, and it's our responsibility to leave it better than we found it.
Oh, fantastic. I certainly share your passion for leaving it better than we found it. Well, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, tell us how people can learn more about Upscale Purse.
Sure, they can. Our email address is contactus@upscalepurse.com, and then we are on Facebook at just Upscale Purse, and also Instagram at Upscale Purse. So, and hashtag. I'm so great at social media.
Fantastic.
We're
website?
on those three, and the website is upscalepurse.com.
Fantastic. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, and we wish you every success in helping women by selling more purses.
Thank you so much, Devin.
All righty, let's do some good.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was recorded via Google Hangouts on Air and is available at youtube.com/Devin Thorpe. Subscribe to this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes by searching for Your Mark on the World. Every weekday, Devin hosts a CEO, celebrity, entrepreneur, or other changemaker here on the Your Mark on the World show to inspire and prepare you to make your mark. Devin is a champion of social good, writing about, advocating for, and advising people who are doing good. He is a Forbes contributor who is a recognized thought leader in social entrepreneurship, impact investing, and crowdfunding. To book Devin as a speaker, visit devinthorpe.com. Learn more about Devin's work at yourmarkontheworld.com.